LeBouef, NOLATAC Firearms Training. In the gun community, you will often hear the phrase of hardware versus software. Well, what does that mean? Well, software is everything upstairs. That's the mental preparation and the training. The hardware, well, that's all the fun stuff. That's the guns, the gears, and the gadgets. Let's talk about the guns a little bit real quick. Specifically, the firearm that you're going to choose for personal protection in a concealed carry application. Keyword being concealed. It needs to be a firearm that is easily concealed, that we will actually carry, hopefully every day, every place that we're legally able to carry it. So it has to be of the size and weight and style that we will actually do that. There's a certain comfort element there that if the gun is too big and cumbersome or hot and heavy, as human beings, we're going to have a tendency to find excuses not to carry it. Some people are more dedicated than that, but most people will at times leave it here and say, oh, well, I don't really need it. So what are we looking for there? Without question, most importantly, it's going to be reliability. That gun absolutely has to do what we need it to do at that moment that we hope will never come. That being said, it is a mechanical device, so it is subject to fail. You stick with most of the major manufacturers, you'll be okay, barring a lemon here and there. Everyone has those that pop out, but again, safe decisions, safe choices can generally be with the major manufacturers. Size and weight. What are we looking for? Well, we need a gun that's going to get the job done, but be small enough that we can and will conceal it on our person. That's going to be a function of where we live, how we dress, and our overall social environment. If I live up north where it's snowing all the time and I'm wearing a big outer coat, well then concealing something like a full-size Beretta is not a big deal. I can just put it in outside the waistband holster, throw a coat over it, and I'm good to go. However, if I'm here in South Louisiana where it's hot all the time and I'm wearing generally short sleeve shirts and sometimes even short pants, well, the size of the gun is going to be a little more restricted by my attire. So maybe I'm looking at something like a smaller subcompact Glock 26 or even a single stack 9mm like a Kel-Tec. For what it's worth, my particular choice and probably the 90% solution for me is going to be a Glock 19. And what you'll see is that most manufacturers, Glock for example, kind of have a family of guns. So you'll have a full size, a compact, and a subcompact, or a large, medium, and small. The Glock 19 being the medium for Glock and 9mm, the 26 being the subcompact or the small, and then of course they have a 17, which is the full size. What are our trade-offs here? Because everything's about trading off. So what I'm getting in additional length of grip and control, additional sight radius, and additional magazine capacity, I'm trading off in concealability. Bigger gun, smaller gun. Generally speaking, smaller gun's easier to conceal, but less grip to hold on to the gun, shorter sight radius. Also, these are both 9mm. The same explosion's going off, just in a smaller package. So I have less mass to control that gun. It's kind of like when you put a large engine in a small car. It's going to kind of throw that car around because it's a smaller package trying to maintain that power. Caliber. People love to talk about caliber. Rule of thumb, 9mm is probably going to be the smallest caliber that you want to go to for personal protection. 380 will probably get the job done, but the big argument for 380 has always been that it's in a smaller package. But now we can get nice 9mm packages that are not much larger than a 380 package, and there's even some smaller than this out there. So the argument for 380 is kind of starting to diminish. Lastly, revolver versus semi-automatic. A lot of people tend to go to revolver because they claim it's simpler. Keep this in mind though. A small J-frame revolver like this, very short sight radius, very sharp grip. Also, I only have 5 or 6 rounds before I need to start worrying about reloading. Whereas something like a Glock 19 or even a Glock 26, Glock 19, I'm going to have 15 or 16 rounds before I have to consider reloading. So almost 3 times the capacity before I have to worry about the harder manipulations of reloading and things like that. Again, the decision as always is yours. Some of the things you want to take into account, again, reliability being number 1, concealability running a very close second. After that, it's personal preference on caliber, overall size, different designs and manipulations, and of course things like revolver versus semi-automatic. As always, remember, get as much information as you can from as many sources as you can, do your own research, and be vigilant, be prepared, and be safe.
Trigger Time is brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, Drago Gear, DS Arms, First Spear, Kel-Tec, PNW Arms, Thunder Beast, Saber Red, Century Solutions, Delta Outdoorsman, Sport Optics, Fox Knives USA, 511 Tactical, and WW Gun.